Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am hoping um, you'll note that I've been offline for a few days. It wasn't me, it was Rumble. It appears it was something to do with the connection of the phone. I don't know what it was, um, but it wouldn't work either on um, the mobile phone or via the connection of the mobile phone onto to the laptop, but it was doing it earlier than that. Um, but I'm now back in England. I am around Mark and Michelle's. Yesterday I did a live interview, so I got off the plane. I was picked up very kindly by Paul, who then took me to Southport to uh, Bannerman's studio, where I've done a video with him, recorded video, should be up in the next couple of days. Now, we need to get as many real alternative media um, to take note of what we're doing because it is very serious. Uh, so much so that what we're actually doing can bring down the government. We can prove through various other people coming forward, including Billy Howarth, myself with personal experience of Batley and Spen and what happened to George Galloway, even though I do not believe in his politics and I'm certainly not his comrade. Um, but an election interference is wholly illegal and it is unconstitutional. It's one of the most serious things that you can actually do. So we've got evidence that they have done that. We've got a number of witness statements. There's three, if you want to call it heads of terms, in the election petition against the Royal Mail against Cheshire Police. Bear in mind they were effectively the original yeomanry, if you want to call it that, of Cheshire, was the ones who attacked us working class people when we didn't have a vote at Peterloo. So there is a historical precedent to all of this. They are also on the head of terms of this election petition, or one of the grounds, and the largest one, obviously, is the returning officer himself, who in effect not only is the CEO of the local council, Horton Council, but he also acts as a Crown servant because he is the returning officer for the Crown in that election. And I just want to make sure everybody understands how serious this is. We've effectively caught them cheating. And the method of operation is very serious because it covers the whole of England. And it is literally why we are now Soviet Britain. If the communist slash fascist system was so effective and so fantastic for the people, why would those in control of that system have to cheat via the ballot box? Now, Lucy Connolly is currently in prison, and the whole of the system has conspired to keep her there. That is, in effect, a Soviet system, no different to Lucy Letby, when the system, including the media, have conspired against her. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands what's going on. So I've come back yesterday from Portugal. The reason I've come back is we've got two important cases going on, but we need everyone really to start. Don't just think someone else is going to do it, and it doesn't matter how bad you think you are at social media. Every single email and every single person doing this helps, right? So you need to send this one to the Trump administration. Don't come back to me and ask me what's the email address, right? Research it and do it yourself because we work as a team. You could find an email address completely different to the one that I've found, and your one works and my one don't, right? That's why it's important that people actually do stuff. And these messages are getting out and getting through. You've also got someone, I forget his name, is it Charlie Cook or someone like that? That's got direct access. We've got 412 who had direct access to Cash Patel. I've been on his show a number of times. So the more we're doing these things, don't forget it has now cost us £6,100 in cash so far, right? And we're just a small political party of normal, everyday working people, right? We are being governed literally by communists, right? And the only reason they are in power in this country is because they cheat, right? If they was any good, or this system was any good, and again, I've sent an email out, a tweet out today. I need as many people as possible to retweet that. Crucially important. Now tomorrow, I'm going to be making my way back on a bank holiday. I don't know how that's going to work. Um, to London, and then we've got to start preparing for the directions hearing on the 13th of June 2025, where I'm the candidate. I'm entitled to represent myself, and I'm representing as the leader of the English Constitution Party all of you, right? Um, and again, we can prove that they are cheating, but we need to get this out. There is only currently a handful of alternative media with alternative views that are pushing this out there. There's lots of other accounts that should be doing it, and they're not. That tells me that those other accounts, either one, don't know what's going on, and they should do, because they should have, or they're too suckered into the YouTube situation, right? Where they're all getting a little bit of coin out of YouTube and they don't want to rock the boat. Listen, that's exactly what communists want, right? So again, we're just normal working people. There's nothing special about me. Other than that, I do understand our constitution and constitutional law that protects our votes. And that is completely being disregarded by the state. So they are repressing and suppressing what we're doing. So I need everyone out there to do as much as possible. Again, the boat's now out of the water in Portugal. It's up on stilts. Hopefully they'll have scaffolding around it within the next week or so. And when these two cases calm down a little bit, I don't know where I stand at the moment. I'll go out there and give him a hand for a little while again. Captain Tim, who's one of us, don't forget it's a Freedom Yacht. It's sailed all the way from New Zealand through various countries. And don't forget, when he went into India, he literally had a load of Indians pointing machine guns at him, telling him he couldn't come into the marina or the dock, which is highly illegal. And he faced them off and said, no. International law says I need to take provisions. You can't send me back out to sea. So it's one man on a yacht standing up for himself. And by the way, Tim has always said, you don't need a passport to travel the world, right? Here's the irony, right? And I've got to show you this, right? When I say an irony, I mean this in a proper sense, right? There's a book. I'm not sure if you can see it, right? Hamlin Lectures, Constitutional Fundamentals by Sir William Wade, who is he's now deceased, an expert on the English Constitution. Guess what he says in that book? There's actually a whole few pages on it where he actually says, let me read this to you. He brings up, and I bet I can't actually find it when I want to find it straight off. The point being, it says passports and the right to travel, right? It's in this book. And what does he say? He says you don't need a passport. An Englishman does not need a passport to leave England or the island of Britain. It is you can leave this country without a passport, right? And then he goes into detail of it. He also talks about a journalist some time ago that put it to a test, a constitutional test. He's got stopped at the airport, and he said the constitutional test stopped there because the journalist never followed it up and never went to court. And he basically says in there are judges waiting to hear your cases, right? But you must present them cases in the proper manner using the English constitutional law and the common law right. By the way, he says it is a common law right to travel and to leave this country. And the government stopping you from doing that by issuing passports and them having unfettered, you can have one, you can't have one, that is illegal, right? Um, but they are an identity document. In what I'm trying to say to you there is, you could turn up anywhere in the world and say, I'm an Englishman, I've got rights. They'll say, prove you're an Englishman, right? So you've got to have some way of proving who you are, right? Because otherwise you could be having a claim on right. Or let's say I turn up in America just because I speak English and I say I'm an American. They'll say, prove it. How can I prove that I'm an American? You need to have some sort of identity document to say I am an American, and that gives you the claim of right on the American Constitution, the same as an Englishman has got a claim of right on the English Constitution. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So all these people start talking about legal fictions and birth certificates. The government cannot restrict access to your birth certificate. They must give it to you, right? And they must issue you with a passport, right? So that you can leave the country. And if they refuse to do that, you are in a Soviet system. So all I'm trying to do is, I keep saying this to people, and anyone who's playing silly buggers with this free man of the land bullshit, right? Stop it, because it is a communist psyop, right? And these people know that what I'm saying is right, because more and more people are now talking about the Constitution. More and more people are now raising that flag, the English flag. More and more people understand what Lancashire means, right? As a shire of England, they're understanding that they have common law rights distinct to Lancashire, right? That's the whole point of this. You've got to understand where the common law comes from, and it wasn't given to us by a king. It is the people's law, the we the people, right? So once everyone understands this, everyone needs to understand exactly what's going on. And by the way, what they said in the book and what this constitutional expert, and he is Sir William Wade, right, or was, I should say, and there's a video of him interviewing Lord Denning on this channel for about 2.5 hours. And they was antagonising and attacking the system. They was with us, not against us. And it's mostly important you all understand. I've just said to Mark, he ain't got a passport, right? I said, technically, you are allowed to leave this country with your driving licence, with a photo of it that identifies you, right? Technically, that's what you're allowed to do. But it's the grief you're going to get. So if your wife turns up with a passport and you've got, so they're going to say no, you can't. They're going to back. You've got to go through the court process. You've got to get just to claim your right on travel, right? Now during COVID, right, that was one of the things that I put across to people. In fact, I think that I've got it here somewhere. We've got one of our. Do you all remember them that was given to people? People was actually using them successfully with the police, right? There's a number of these on the boat, by the way. The Constitution is the solution, Bill of Rights 1688. Now, all the Bill of Rights did was confirm our rights. But there was a second element, which was a declaration, which in effect created the Coronation Oath Act, which created from a convention parliament inalienable rights. And the only reason the Crown is in place now is because of that event in the form that it did. But if you have a look on the back of that, and people was using this during COVID, right? My constitutional statutory rights are not affected by the regulations brought under Public Health Control and Diseases Act 1984 or the Coronavirus Act 2020 by order of the Bill of Rights 1688-89, and then it's got our website address there, which is takebackcontrol.vote, right? So it's not as if again, I've been doing this for years. Not just for Christmas, as they say. I've been doing it for a long time and understanding what these people are doing. So, get back to what the original thing was. I need everyone to be sharing this stuff out, right? I want you to share everything. I want you to. There's a particular tweet. If I can go and find it now, I will do, and I'll send it out in a thing. It needs a massive retweet. Let me see if I can go and find it for you. Code notes immigration, no use of passport, no national missing. Your nationality is important, by the way. Someone's just put a thing out there. If you say that your nationality is not English, then you haven't got a claim of right. That's exact. So just to make sure, because I've just seen a comment on there, people need to understand this. The English have rights, right? The British have rules. Rules are made to be broken, rights or not, right? And if you want to claim your English constitutional rights and your common law rights, in some way you have to prove that you are English, right? It's fairly simple for most Englishmen or women to prove they are English in this country. But if you went abroad and said I'm English, especially in a place like America, you get a lot more respect, right? But you don't want someone who's Dutch or German or Polish claiming they're English. They can claim they're British all they want, but they cannot claim they're English and the indigenous rights of the English, which is where our constitution come from. Let me just make sure everyone has got this because it is important. Let's see if I can go and pick it up. I'm going to show this again on this site, right? So Touchwood, I might have to. I don't know if this works, and I don't know how the trial's going of the other people yet. So there's a trial that's been going on for a week. Anyone got any news on that? Would be helpful. Let me see if I can show you this. So I'm now live. Heads up, your browser may only partially support screen share audio capture. Oh, that should continue screen sharing. I need to go on to that. Let's share that. And then bring that up on the screen. Hopefully you'll see it. So on your screen, this has now been sent from the High Court to all the respondents, including the Department of Public Prosecutions, right? So the prosecutors of this, and again, they're the Crown, so I don't hold a lot to that, but everyone is actually looking at this case, right? The only people not promoting this case currently are the vast majority of the alternative media, and they should be. It tells you they're not alternative media, right? So we've got, I think, 5 large alternative media accounts, including Andy the Gabby Cabby, including Sean Atwood, including LSB Productions, including Nick Buckley, including Bannerman. Now, everyone should understand Bannerman is standing up for the people. He's videoing a lot of police actions. He's videoing quick response teams that are going out and stopping bailiffs, etc. Right? What I'm saying is these people are real. They're not fakes. Right? A bit like me in the High Court representing you as a normal working man, not part of their system. I haven't taken an oath to their system. I'm not a British barrister. I'm certainly not a British solicitor. That are even worse. Right? But there on the screen is the information that you should understand. In the High Court of Justice, King's Bench Division, in the matter of the Representation of the People's Act 1983, and in the matter of parliamentary by-election for the Runcorn and Helsby constituency held on the 1st of May 2025, right, between Graham Harry-Moore, petitioner, and Emma Gilthorpe, Royal Mail, Mark Roberts, Chief Constable of Cheshire Constabulary, Sarah Joanne Pochin, MP, and Stephen Young, returning officer. So there, all the information is there. Everyone should understand what's going on. I've tried to explain why they're all listed in that. Respondents, take notice that the directions hearing in the above mentioned petition will take place at the Royal Courts of Justice, Strand, London, WC2A 2LL on Friday 13th of June 2025. The hearing will commence at not before 10:30 a.m. And the hearing details will be published on the King's Bench daily calls list on the afternoon prior to the hearing. And there it is. So dated 23rd of May 2025. That is the hearing. It is. So what they're going to do on that, and the case reference for anyone who wants it, is Papa 381/25. Right. So Papa 381/25. /25. Right, so everything you need on this video is there. Let me stop sharing that a second and go back to my normal screen. Hopefully I'm back on. Did everyone see that on the screen? Give me a 5x5 if you saw that in the screen. So try and share this to everyone. Hopefully the email will go out and people will watch this. I am trying to get back to London by tomorrow, and then I'll be live from the normal studio, which is my front room, hopefully. And then obviously there's more work on that. But just to make sure you're all aware. So what was I on holiday in Portugal? No, the boat became my little office, and it was very inspirational in the way that it operated with me. So just to make sure everyone's got it there. Now what I need to do is go and find this other element. Let me click off of this. What I'm doing is, if Lucy is a state actor, then the state. I agree. There are some people that are suggesting that there's a bit of a psyop going on with Lucy Connolly. I haven't looked into the evidence of it so far, but nothing surprises me anymore. Let me just make sure I can get back to making sure that this is out there. Now, there is something I want to try and show people. I don't know if this is going to work. In fact, I know it isn't going to work. But I do want people to retweet this as much as they can. And people should be trying to contact not the fake accounts of Elon Musk, the real accounts of Elon Musk. I'm seeing lots of people tagging in fake accounts of Elon Musk. It's not difficult to find the real Elon Musk, right? And it's actually not called the real. It's just Elon Musk. But so many people are tagging in the wrong person. It's unbelievable. And I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm talking about what I'm seeing at, and I think, why can't people just see that that's a fake account that they've tagged in, and they're not? So you're not actually contacting anyone or tagging anyone in. Now, don't forget the other person that we really do need tagging in to this. You may have guessed is, and I don't know why he's not mentioning this. It starts to worry me that even Rupert Lowe is not who he says he is, right? And what I mean by that is he's not actually on our side, right? And I just want to make sure because he's not once sent any of this information out or said anything about it. He's just it's as if he in some ways he's pretending to be English, and then he backs right away from the English, and I've got no idea why. Right, so he's only looking after himself yet again. Don't forget, he's got money. He can pay $5 million into America tomorrow and get an American citizenship immediately. We can't do that. This is our country, and these people have destroyed it so far. And we're the ones who are taking it back. I've got to go back and try and find this particular tweet. I can't find it again. I need to get... There it is. And I'll send it out to you all. I need it retweeted. And if you can copy in... we need Rupert Lowe. People need to ask Rupert Lowe, right? Ask Rupert Lowe, why is it? Right, so just literally say to him, why is it you haven't mentioned this petition? We find it very strange, and if you are really who you say you are, why haven't you? Right? Why haven't you mentioned this petition? This is a major event. This is a documented fraud on the people. Right? This is a documented fraud. This is an attack on you. This is an attack on your rights. This is an attack on every member of parliament in the way that they've done it. The whole of the so-called mother of parliaments is under attack by corrupt officials, right? And Rupert Lowe hasn't mentioned it. It seems really strange to me. So all I'm saying is, and the more you're sharing this now, so sharing is caring, subscribing to this channel, right? How many other people have got cases into this position before? How many other people have ever got an injunction at the European Court of Human Rights against the British government? How many other people are planning these cases and showing people the pure corruption of communism and fascism? Right, and bearing in mind, communism and fascism is the same thing to an Englishman. It's authoritarian government which we do not accept. Right, that's all what I'm saying to people. So everyone out there, you need to share this as much as possible. There are some very good media accounts out there, alternative media accounts. I will give them a shout out again. Bannerman, um, Sean Atwood, Nick Buckley. Who else we got? LSB Studios. And a massive one that you cannot doubt his Englishness is Andy the Gabby Cabby, right? He's like, I'm not. I just want to go and earn a living, but I'm an Englishman, right? And I believe in justice, real justice, not this fake system. And again, he's pushing it out there, and he's being honest. He's saying locally, I support what they're doing and how they're doing it, which is Reform UK. He is not supporting the corrupt system, right? I ain't got a problem with that. I'm like, well, you're an intelligent man. If they're operating and it's correct in your own area, don't forget we're talking about building a real constitutional grass movements, right? Grass movement. That's it, right? And again, everyone's got to understand what it is. So get as many people out there reposting this stuff as possible. So I've done this video, one, because I've tried to go live out there and it ain't worked at all. I've got a funny feeling there was a connection problem with the phone, and the phone comes back to England, right? Um, Trust me, they've got complete control of the telecom system. This system is going live via Mark's internet, but that is a bit difficult for them to jump around on. Not that difficult. They could still track me and find me and shut it down. But home, I've got the Starlink system, and I don't get interrupted, or very rarely on that, right? So just to make sure. So you want to send out this as much as possible. Now tomorrow's night show is going to be really important. Hopefully, I'm going to be in on time. And again, the change of temperature has hit the cold I had. I think jumping in and out of the temperature system with Portugal and England, it was funny. I've come over from Portugal where it was 80, dropped into Manchester. Tim sent me a picture. Do you want me to send? I'll show you the picture. This is funny, right? I've got to send you this because this is actually funny, right? Not that. Let me just show you. Right, I'm going to show you this one. Let me just show you. This is what Tim sent me. So I'm going to show you this one, and I'm going to show you what I sent. And this is a legitimate picture, right? Let me see if I can show you this, and you'll be laughing, right? So Tim sends me this picture, right, of him sitting on a bar in a beach with a glass of Superbock, freezing cold beer. And again, the kids was out swimming, Gemma's there, etc. Right? Just have a look at this picture. I'll bring it up even bigger so you can see it. Right? That's what he sent me. And you look at it and you think, you bastard. Right? And then this is the one I sent him back. That was me in Paul's car on the way to Southport. Right? Look at the grey skies. Look at the rain. And anyone who tells me they prefer that currently, that you've got to be mad. Although I will say that Gemma, who was with, didn't like the heat at all. She comes from Wales and she went, no. I'd rather have the rain, right? And I was like, well, but anyway, the reason why I've gone on to that is just to show you the drop in temperature and coming in and out of it is what's kicked me cold in. I mean, I got here and felt, ugh. Right, can everyone see and hear does everyone understand that we need to send out that retweet as possible? So there's a number of things. Write it down or watch the video again. You need to be sending this video and our petition links, and importantly, on our website, we've got the link to the petition and everything, so you can download the petition link, right? And we need to be sending that to all the mainstream media. We need to be sending that to alternative media channels. So sit there for a couple of hours if you can and start getting all these people operating and working on it, right? And again, we need to keep an eye on that and send it out there. We need to try and get it to the American administration. We need to get it out there. Notice that GB News hasn't even mentioned it, right? So bombard GB News and say, why isn't it you're not talking about this? It's because they're British and they're corrupt to the core, right? This is a communist slash fascist system, right? And it is often described as the third way, it's Fabianism. And none of it does us any favours. So the information is out there. Get it out there, send it out there as much as you can, and get that. GB News is part of the establishment. It is, but you still need to send this information and the links and the link to the website and say, why are you not speaking about this election petition that is valid and active? And they're setting a trial date, right, for a recount. Ask them. So why aren't you talking about it? Because you're complicit in the fraud against the people, right? That you've got to be sending these messages out. I can't do it on my own. What I'm doing is communicating with a team, and it'll be me standing in court arguing the constitutional elements of this, right? So just to make sure, Talk TV have mentioned it, obviously. Talk TV haven't mentioned it. No. So again, English veteran, you're great at this communication. You know, connect with them, send them an email, send them the link to the website and say, why is it you haven't spoke about this? You're just as complicit of this fraud against the English as everyone else, right? They're not real journalists. What they are is a system of psychological manipulation against the people. That's what they're complicit in. They are not media. The real media are the five that I give out. I mean, I've just sent some details over to GB Resistance. Now he's had us on there. We've used his studio, etc. He knows this is going on. He's a nice fella, etc. He might just be busy, but we need to push this information out there, and they're not doing it. Enough of the big. So they allow you to grow as long as you toe the line and don't cross the line. To highlight this election fraud for the British establishment is crossing the line, right? Because they don't want people to know this. They will take you into a war with Russia unless people stand up, right? And Russia are not the bad guys. They broke free from the Soviet system. So hopefully everyone is understanding it. Let me just make sure I can bring this up on your screen. So what I'm going to do now is share the actual screen so you can see it. But all you've got to do is click on the link below, take the L and send it out as much as possible. Let me see if I can actually find you on it. Let me see if I've got it on there. I have got it on there. News and events, there it is. Right, so if you went on this, what I'm going to do now, hopefully you can see this, and it's on your screen. Can you all see that on your screen? This is the English Constitution Party website. If you go to the top left, you will see it there, all right? And it will come up on your screen. And what I've done is I've showed you that, Runcorn and Hillsby. What I really need to do is add the other one, which is the 13th of June. But this is the full writ published. The witness statements and the expert witness statements have been served. This is a human rights abuse, right? So again, if you click on any of these, hopefully, I'm not sure if that will show you what it is. But if you actually went on the site and clicked on these, it shows you what it is, and it is the High Court of Justice, and then it tells you that the Elections Petitions Office and when it was all served, and then on there, that one there, if you click on that, hopefully you can see this on your screen. It shows you the actual petition itself, and you can talk through it. Tells you who they are: Royal Mail respondents, Mark Roberts, Chief Constable, Cheshire; Sarah Joanne Putchin, MP, Member of Parliament; Stephen Young, etc. And then you go through it all. It tells you everything you need to know. And then as we drop down, harassment and failure to act, everything is on there. Evidence, and again, if you go down and look at the actual details, everything's on there. It's all been sent over. Let me just make sure you've got the right one on there, which you have. Again, human rights violations, right? 3.5. Then it goes all through it, speaks about the English Bill of Rights, and it then goes on to the UN Declaration. It then goes on to the third important point, and in relation to our own convention parliament, is rather minor, which is a European Convention on Human Rights. And then everything is in there, and then we've got all the evidence that's been filed, right? So all of that information is out there. Let me just make sure I copy that again, just so you know that it's there. Let's get off of that and see if I can bring this information up to you. Let's see if anyone has just right. Someone was declared. Right, and I need people. Right, I'm going to say this to you. Try and concentrate on getting this information out. There's too many people that are watching the show that are talking about COVID and all these different things, right? What's right up you at the moment is this election writ. And if you're being distracted by all these other things, we'll get to that. But let's do this because it's important. It's more important than anything else. And I don't care if you're jabbed or unjabbed, right? Your 1 meter enemy is standing in front of you in the High Court, and we need help to get this information out there. So stop being distracted with all this COVID bullshit. We will get to that, right? I keep seeing it from people, right? If you want to be distracted by all these fucking silly accounts out there running around saying this, that, and the other, you've got a 1 meter enemy standing in front of you now, and that enemy is going to be standing in front of me in a few weeks' time. I need you to help me get this information out there. Am I understood? And I will be blocking people from this channel if I see anything to do with COVID when you're not talking about this online. If you are the type of person to be distracted by all this stuff and can't focus on the job in hand, which is this election petition, I will block you, right? We've got a job to do. Focus on that. Stop being literally misdirected by all these people, because most of these people talking about COVID have done absolutely fuck all about it, right? And again, don't think I'm getting I'm just see something in my someone's just sent something and it annoyed me, right? As you may have guessed, right? We was dealing with that then, right? And that assisted everyone. We're now dealing with an election writ, right? And an election petition in the High Court. Concentrate on what we're doing now, not the bullshit, right? We will get to that and we will get justice. But unless you go through this process of highlighting the corruption in this system, you're not going to get anywhere. And if you're not the type of person that, by English common law and our constitution, that when everything else fails, we do have the right to arm rebellion, right? But if you're not able enough and you're not the type of person that can pick up a pickaxe handle and fight, then I suggest you start sending fucking emails out and target the people I've said. That's it. Stop your distractions, right? Because if you're distracting other people that are good people on this channel, I will block you. And you can go and ask people out there that followed this channel for years and I've blocked them, right? For exactly that. Right, Richard Sunbury, I've just shared on XDD. Share, do as much as you possibly can. If you've got, let me just make sure I'm clear on this to everyone, right? If I send out emails from ECP on my personal account, some of these places are blocking it. If you send the emails out, they don't know, and you're writing them independently, they don't know what they can't track that, right? All they can do is go, oh fuck, now the information's getting out there. It's like 100 people listening to something in a pub, all walking out and then going bang, 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 bang to different people. And all of a sudden there's 1,000 people that know what's going on. That's what you're looking at doing. We are being oppressed and suppressed, right? Our vote is being, listen to this, shorted. That's the term, right? They're taking your votes illegally and putting them in someone else's pile. That is constitutionally unlawful. It's a massive no-no, and they have been doing it systematically for years, which is why we're in the mess we're in. We've caught them. Billy Alworth has caught them. I caught them on this one, or we caught them on this one. We've caught them in Tooting. We've caught them in Batley and Spen. And it weren't even my fighting that one. It was George Galloway's. What did he do? He walked away from the court case. Why did he? Because they give him, they allowed him to be elected again, right? We'll have a deal with you, George. Just shut up, because we're all corrupt. That's what they did, right? That's why he never pushed it forward. That's it. Anyway, God, don't forget, I'm not having a go at you. I've just seen something on another thing, and I will block. Right? Trust me. And if I block you, there's no coming back from it. Right? Ask other people. You've got to concentrate and help us. And if you're all, and some people out there are busy with their normally everyday lives. I get that, right? This is crucially important. There's nothing more important now that the ECP and you and your membership, you're the ones who have paid for this, right? I've had to pay it in one way, right? But you're the ones who are paying for this. If you really do care, you go smash, smash, smash. I'll tell you what, I am going to dedicate an hour or 2 hours of my life over this bank holiday weekend, sending out emails, getting out as much as possible, right? There's a person in there, right, here. In fact, I'm not even sure. Yeah, I want to pin this person. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm going to pin that person. That pins, right? That person's done so much with contacting different people and is running the English Constitution site, right? That's one person. I've seen more emails coming back from that one person from contacting people than anyone else. What does it prove to me? One is that their email address isn't being oppressed, and the second is they're actually doing it, right? It makes a massive difference, right? And everyone's got to do it. Let me just make sure, by the way. Can I ask, is Juicy and Lucy actually on there as? Let me have a look. I need to go and check something while I'm online. My channels, account options. Let me go back and have a look at moderation. Moderators. Yeah, Juicy and Lucy are on there. All right, so we've got quite a few moderators on there. All right, so there it is. So I'm back with a vengeance, and it is really important that everyone does exactly as we tell people. And the more effort you're individually putting in, right? You may not know the law or the Constitution as I know it, right? That's not an issue. But when we ask for help, we need help, right? They are actively suppressing the knowledge of the election petition in the general public. You need to throw it out there, right? You're the ones who are getting that information out there. And if you need to send it to Channel 4, Sky News, send it to the BBC, send it to GB News, and say, why aren't you covering this? This is really important. This is the people standing up for the people, right? Why aren't you covering this? Because you're fake news. Tell them you're fake news. You're exactly what Trump says you are. You are fake news. That's what you got to do, right? And then everyone's aware that they're not covering it. And then what we need to do is prod these so-called alternative medias, presenters or broadcasters or whatever they call themselves, right? They are as fake. The ones who are not covering this are as fake as the mainstream media. They are as complicit in this fraud as all of the rest of them, right? You're the people, the public, right? The English men and women and the Welsh, because they're part of our common law jurisdiction, are all being conned, right? Freeman and landers, they're all the same people. They'll promote that, right? The mainstream media, Sky News, remember that? Promoting Freeman and land. Why the fuck do you think they did that? Because it's a fucking psyop, right? That's it. So I am going to say, don't forget sharing is caring. Don't forget, and I do want to, I mean this, sharing is caring. Subscription is crucial. Get people on this platform, right? It is fairly obvious that they have stopped me getting access to Rumble via this phone, right? Because now I've got full access again. The British system and the British oligarchs and the ruling class wouldn't be doing that unless we was having an impact. I need your help to get the information out there. That's it. Thank you, Neil56, for saying thank you to Juicy and Lucy. And they are a lovely couple. And hopefully at some stage in the future, don't know when, don't know where, but I'll end up having a boat and I'll be living on it with my favourite female, who I'm not going to declare who she is, but as long as her knee ain't falling off. Juicy and Lucy, I emailed again on Friday. Everyone I emailed nearly a month ago with an update on what Graham is up to with the court case and asking for interviews with him. Well done. Juicy and Lucy, 100%. Great. Juicy, excellent. That's what I mean. You don't realise. Well, if that's one person who's getting all this up here, Tracy Truism, all the other people out there, everyone's moving it forward. That's all you got to do. And eventually, we'll break through again. And once we break through and they put that out on the mainstream, there is an election petition for Runcorn and Hillsby all of a sudden. Now, this safeguards our future elections. And it shows you how important it is that we have count officials that have got a bit of bottle, that will walk up without coming back to me and say, Graham, blah, 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 blah. No, bosh, oi, I've just seen what you've just done. That is exactly what Billy Alworth did. He had the arsehole to stand up and video in it and then got thrown out by the old Bill. So the old Bill, the police, were complicit, right? That's what you're seeing. The whole system is corrupt to the core. And it's why you're all skint, and it's why you're all grafting your nuts off while they're sitting out there on their super mega fucking yachts, drinking fucking your wine. And I'm not a communist, and I'm not a fascist. I'm just telling you, we should all have access to that. Juicy and Lucy, YouTube, do not like us posting comments about Section 134. Yeah, I know. That's because they know it's the real law. So, Juicy and Lucy, what you've just said there, YouTube are taking out any comments about Section 134 torture, right? Just to make sure you all get this, right? The reason why the Royal Mail individuals, via the unions, didn't send out our 45,400 leaflets to every house in Runcorn and Elsby is because the back page had right across it, right? Criminal Justice Act, 1988, Section 134, torture. So if you want justice for them girls that was raped all over England, which we did, all of them houses should have had them leaflets. And it had election communication written right across it. It is a criminal offence not to put that through a door. In fact, if you are a person delivering leaflets for another party and you walk up to a door and you take that leaflet out, if it's got election communication on it, it's a criminal offence. It's interfering with an election communication. That's it. So if the Royal Mail don't do it, what happens? It's a massive offence. And remember, the Royal Mail, Emma Gilthorpe, right? her stepdad is a 40-year Tory peer. Yes, you just heard that right. Very incestuous, this, isn't it? Right? So there you go. So share as much as you can. I'm off for the minute, and I will be making my way back tomorrow and chilling out with my cold. But Michelle is looking after me. She's giving me loads of lemon and loads of honey. Right? I did buy some fudge from Southport. I didn't want to buy some in Portugal because it probably would have melted by the time we got back here. That's it. Good night. God bless. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. Au revoir. Bye-bye.